This lesson is on value. Value is the lightness or darkness of a color. So you have this value chart going from white to black. Here's a value chart of just the colors in order, but this is more of a monochromatic tone, and that's what we're going to be working with today. Here is a using value scale using black and white, but this is using the tints and shades of blue. And here's some other things. This is called monochromatic, tints and shades of one color. So you only pick one color, and then you just add white and black to it to create the contrast. And you can see these different examples too. So what I'm going to do is I've got my piece of paper, I have some water, I've got some paint. I've poured out some red, black, and white, and I started mixing it there, but it can be any color. And for this project, it really doesn't matter what it is that you want to do. I mean, it can be a portrait like you saw in this picture, and maybe that's what I want to do. Or maybe you want to make an animal, whatever the case might be. So I might use a pencil to kind of outline my design first. And I'm going to try to make an elephant here. Basically, I'm just sketching it out right now. Then I might need to go over my lines. They have a little tail. And of course, they have some big ears, especially the African lions. So I might go back over. You can use a marker for this part too. And it doesn't necessarily have to be black. Now at this point, I might also want to break up my paper into sections. But again, that's up to you. Maybe I'll do something like this. For my background. There. Then I start mixing my colors together. Now this black water might affect my white paint, which it does a little bit there. So I'm going to take some red, take some white. I'm just going to make this pink color. And maybe I just add that in right here for this block of color. And maybe let's see what happens. I'll add more white into it. It should look a little different. Yep, it's definitely lighter. Oops. Ooh, I kind of like the streaks. It's a tint of pink, or it's a shade of pink. Actually, I kind of like that, but that's not what I was going for. Sometimes that happens. I'm going to use that same pink. Maybe I'll add more white. Maybe try to do it over here and not streak the black into it. Then I'm going to rinse my brush a little bit. And basically I'm just trying to make as many tints and shades as I can of red. So here there's some black mixed in with the red. That's going to look different. Yep, obviously much darker. And let's see if I add more black, what's going to happen. That's definitely darker. And what if it's more black than that? Is it darker? It looks like a really dark purple even. Then, actually, I just want to play now. I'm going to add some of this magenta into my white and see what happens. Because maybe I'm trying to go for this. Ooh, and that's all that is. It looks purple, but all that is red, black, and white mixed together for that one. So I'm trying to make monochromatic colors. Monochromatic is you just take one color and you keep adding white or black to it. This is actually a darker tint than this one. So whenever you add white, it's called a tint. Whenever you add black, it's called a shade. People always ask me about the tint on cars. I'm thinking the person who named that did not know that tint was actually when you add white to a color, not black. Maybe I just have a plain red area. Oopsie. Oh well, I'll make something out of that. Now this has a little bit of black mixed in. Not a whole lot, it's mostly red. Maybe I want a pure red somewhere. Let me rinse off my brush. Just get some pure red. Maybe that's what I'll do right here where I dripped it accidentally. So I just keep going on and on until I finish. Here, this is a little bit of black. So it's a shade. Here's another shade. Let's do some black with a tint. See my plate, I'm really getting it dirty. That's what artists do. What if I use a lot of white? I'm just blending it on my paper. I might have to go back over my black lines later, or not, whatever. That's kind of neat. Now I'm just trying to use up my paint. Sometimes I like to streak the paint too. That's kind of what I'm doing here. Well, that takes care of the negative space. What do you think?